radio for discerning listeners. Starr 103.5 FM.
It's 12 o'clock. Welcome to the Starr Midday News here on Starr 103.5 FM. My name is Awisi, Dede, Jange. And this afternoon, minority demands immediate reversal of decision to deploy military personnel to enforce ban on exportation of grains, describing it as a ploy to intimidate voters in border communities.
Knowing the playbook of the M convinces us that the knee-jerk measures were motivated by the opportunity to deploy the military in areas known as NDC strongholds to intimidate and suppress voters.
And on Election Hub, a founding member of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Nyahota Maklo, cast doubt on the party's ability to break the eight as he chooses Mahama over Bawumia.
I will always go in for somebody who has done it before and has experience.
So this will be Mahama.
If they will allow the election to be held freely, there's no way they can win.
He also fears the EC's conduct could jeopardize the stability of the country in the upcoming elections.
If we are not careful and certain things are not put in place, the Electoral Commission will walk us into disaster.
NDC demands apology from Ibuakwa South MP Samuel Atachia over comments suggesting that the flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, takes alcohol. And later in the bulletin, we'll tell you how students in St. Mary SHS in the OT region battle snakes in their dilapidated toilet. Details of these stories and many more coming up shortly. Stay with me.
Starr News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady, Cool 103.5 FM in Ho, Rage and Might FM in Tamale, Somali FM in Wa, My Star Radio in the USA. Also live on Facebook on Starr 103.5 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Starr 103.5 FM.
Thank you so much for choosing Starr Midday News here on Starr 103.5 FM. This afternoon, the minority in Parliament is demanding immediate reversal of decision to deploy the military to enforce ban on exportation of grains in border towns. Minister for Defence Dominic Nitiwul, in a joint address with the Minister for Food and Agriculture, Dr. Brian Echampong, announced that soldiers will be deployed to enforce the ban occasioned by the drought in the northern part of the country. Addressing the media, minority spokesperson on Defence and Interior, James Agalga, condemned the decision, arguing it is an attempt to intimidate voters in the strongholds of the NDC. The Busa North MP questioned why customs and immigration personnel have not been put in charge of the enforcement like has always been in the case. Agalga further called for broader engagement in enforcement of the ban. Take a listen.
The minority in Parliament condemns in the strongest possible terms the decision by the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia-led government to deploy the military to border towns across the country to supposedly enforce the government's ban on the exportation of grain from the country in the wake of the reported drought-induced crop failures in the northern part of the country. The minority takes note of the rollout of measures by the government to address the potentially devastating impact of the dry spell on food security in our country, the deployment of the military to our borders to ostensibly perform the task of the enforcement of a ban on the exportation of grain raises several questions and suspicions. The Immigration Service is statutorily empowered to manage and patrol the country's borders as a first line of defense. The Customs Service, on the other hand, complements the Immigration Service in the exercise of its preventive functions along our borders. Indeed, the government should be mindful of the cost of military deployment along the borders because it could be more than the value of grains they wish to protect within the country. We urge the development partners who may wish to support Ghana to join us in insisting on a credible task force primarily made up of experts to oversee the drawing up and execution of plans to alleviate the situation. Otherwise, as usual, the government and its henchmen will line their pockets while Ghanaians go hungry. Knowing the playbook of the MPP convinces us that the knee-jerk measures were primarily motivated by the opportunity, as they see it, for chop-chop, like COVID-19, and using the food situation as a pretext to deploy the military in areas known as NDC strongholds to intimidate and suppress voters ahead of the December 7 elections.
So you heard that the minority spokesperson on Defense and Interior, James Agaga. Let's do some politics now. And in politics, the National Democratic Congress is demanding an apology from Ibuako South MP Samuel Atachia over comments suggesting that their flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, takes alcohol. The Ibuako MP, while addressing party supporters, has stated that the country is about to have a leader who is astute and refrains from alcohol. Take a listen to him.
Economies ya ne hojo onyansafo ba onyansafo awanomusa o mukasa onyami ahira yo onyami ahira ana me ka kire say Ghana ya benya onyansafo awanomusa mumpe we na mumpe sotro obi kasa onyami ahira yo.
But the NDC claims the statement is an attack on its leader. Here are details of the statement from the party.
The National Democratic Congress (NDC) has taken note of the unfortunate and baseless remarks made by Honorable Samuel Atachia, Member of Parliament for Ibuako South constituency, during a mini rally held on 28 August 2024. Honorable Atachia, in his address, made a reckless and unfounded allegation suggesting that the NDC's flag bearer, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, is a drunkard and an alcoholic. The NDC is appalled by this descent into the gutter by a senior member of the New Patriotic Party who should know better. Such comments not only undermine the decency of the political discourse, but also expose the desperation of the NPP in the face of an imminent electoral defeat. It is deeply regrettable that instead of focusing on issues that matter to the Ghanaian people, the NPP has resorted to personal attacks and character assassination. For the record, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is not a drunkard. He is a distinguished statesman whose commitment to the well-being and progress of Ghana is unquestionable. His track record in public service and his enduring leadership qualities speak for themselves. We demand an immediate retraction and an apology from Honorable Atachia for his unprovoked attack on the person of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Failure to do so will leave the NDC with no choice but to explore all available avenues to defend the integrity and reputation of our flag bearer.
So you had there the NDC statement, describing the statement by Atachia as an attack on the leader. We are scheduled to speak to Atachia to get a reaction from him on this particular development. But let's do other stories now, because a founding member of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo, has cast doubt on the party's ability to break the eight. According to him, the governing party has done little to transform livelihood of citizens since returning to power in 2017, I beg your pardon. He believes the NDC's candidate, John Dramani Mahama, should get the nod over his rival, Dr. Baumia.
In politics, in civilized world, when a party will win election, you know it. It's based on this performance.
What do you see?
What I see now is a party that has been led, unfortunately, by an autocrat.
Are you calling the president an
I
autocrat?
say an autocrat.
He's your good friend.
He is my good friend.
And you are calling him
the
a
way
dictator
I
and
know,
an autocrat.
but you know, you stay in this country. Look at what is happening. Who?
It's a democracy. The president.
No.
Really?
You see, when you talk of democracy, you know it. All sort of infractions. You follow me? There is no even. You know what has happened.
Will the NDC win the 2024 election?
I don't know who will win the next elections. That I can't tell.
But you said that the NPP will not win.
Then what I'm saying is that NPP if they will allow the election to be held freely, there's no way they can win. But you should look. You should listen to people on television who have been interviewed, ordinary people. How do you win an election? You win an election when you have performed well.
If you had to choose between the following, who would you choose? 1, Mahama versus Bawumia.
Mahama versus Bawumia.
Who would you choose? Push to the wall.
Choose as what? As a leader? Or
as a leader.
What? I will always go in for somebody who has done it before and has experience.
So this will be Mahama then?
Yes.
He also cautioned the Electoral Commission against unprofessionalism. The seasoned politicians warns that the conduct of the electoral governing body could undermine the stability of the country.
The elections we are going to have now, we have to be careful.
Are you worried?
I am worried. I am worried because of the behavior of the Electoral Commission.
If
there will be a problem, I'm coming.
You are a senior citizen. You can invite them. You can go to them. You can write to them.
No, the Electoral Commissioner, I know very, very well.
Oh, you know her?
I see very well. When I was a kid, I was a pet to her father, Dr. Bluku Aloti. Now, recently the husband called me. The husband I know very well, Charles Mensah. I met him, and it was about how to have peace during these elections. And I told him, let your wife do the right thing.
You said that to him?
Oh, yes. He's alive. You can ask him. Let your wife do the right thing. Because what is happening now, if we are not careful and certain things are not put in place, the Electoral Commission will walk us into disaster. Mind my words, I'm telling you.
Are you not instilling fear in the people? Are you not causing fear and panic?
Fear. No. There are wrongs going on. And the wrongs must be put right.
So he had the founding member of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Nyahota Maklo. But the NDC, the next NDC government, has promised to investigate deadly clashes between residents of Manyakrobo and then Power Distribution Services, a PDS, in 2019. Johnson Asiedu Nketia, the NDC's national chairman, addressing residents of Lower Manya as part of his campaign tour in the eastern region, promised that a future NDC government will address the incident which resulted in the death of a 24-year-old Thomas Pate and injuries to several others, including an 18-year-old girl who was later amputated. The clashes erupted during a protest against alleged overbilling by PDS, which had taken over from ECG. Despite a promise by then Energy Minister Peter Mewu to investigate the matter, no action has been taken. Have a listen to the NDC chairman.
The Omudi Afamu Krobo Maimura Kania Mita Keke Yabejina so Akum Nipa Atutio Akum Nipa Bata Kania Anyana Diva Krobo Ubedia Konyana NDC the Kania Bahada Tika uba beji kakrano wabeji tu akum nipa ya se ya ba betra kodwa no so a obi bia wadi ewu ewo man mu ya ba wiwe mu na asotwe a efata se ya de ma omo no ya de ba ma omo na wa ya kumo de se no Sampatazika bia oha asase ade patawa ya de be pataw na omo awu aja omo mba ya de awe omo school ya omo atimi akọ omo anim.
Mr. Asiedu Nketia also served notice that security personnel who kill during the upcoming polls will be dealt with.
And then abato and aba be gomu. Wo police pani, soldier pani, customs pani bia ya obama order wa kasa wunim se enya order e de oman no be ko nanim na obama order se ya ko tutu atio enku Ghana emranti ane mbaba wa kwano kai wuru se da wo be gira watem mu no aban no wata wachi se bisa abode no na oni ho na okọ ebeka wo kwa ane o cross wa e da okọ.
Now, away from the NDC, let's move on to the NPP because the flag bearer of the governing NPP, Dr. Mahmood Bawumia, has ridiculed claims by his opponent, John Dramani Mahama of the NDC, that the 24-hour economy will include discotheque and nightclubs. Addressing supporters of the NPP in the Dome-Kwabenya constituency, Dr. Bawumia stressed that the country currently needs an upgrade and not a disco economy.
Yeah, but upgrading Ghana. We are upgrading Ghana. We are going to a new level. Usha, mini oman penyi dada. Ono die, na jwi ya ne say, nkunkwan kiting. Sa economy na opese oye. Any 24-hour disco. 24-hour disco na yepe. Nkunkwan kiting. Sa na yebu mine. We are going digital.
Dr. Bawumia also hinted that his much-touted credit scoring system will be introduced this year.
Credit system nunti ubeto adia tise TV na wato na utria kakra ubeto fridge anase ubeto car na wakoto na utria kakra na eko uto mobile phone na wato na utria kakra na eko credit system no sa na me pese me deba Ghana na yesu yestati credit system in Ghana na yetria kakra na ekoso Nyami adum Ghana credit system no Nyami adum be share here before we vote before December me be launchi Ghana credit system no we be launchi na obia enya credit score uwo Ghana kara benya credit score na wait me ato adie na utria kakra na ebua obia.
Flag bearer of the governing NPP, Dr. Mahmood Bawumia. Away from politics, let's do some education-related stories now. Imagine having to confront your worst fears every time nature calls. For students at St. Mary's Seminary SHS in Lolobi in the OT region, this is a daily ordeal. The school's 3 toilet facilities have been full and infested with snakes for years, raising serious health and safety concerns. Volta regional correspondent Faisal Abdul has the rest of the story.
The students of St. Mary's Seminary SHS in Lolobi, in the newly created Guan district of the Oti region, face a daily struggle when nature calls. For years, the school has lacked a proper area of convenience. The 3 existing toilet facilities are in a dire state, dilapidated, full and infested with snakes, leaving students traumatized whenever they need to use them.
Our facilities, toilet facilities is not good at all. We are suffering. We find it very difficult to go to the toilet because some of them are full. And here is bush, sometimes snake. Sometimes we see snake inside the toilet and we cannot go again.
A visit to any of these facilities is met with an unbearable stench that lingers.
When we visit the toilet and come back, it smells all over our body, and it's very scary to go there sometimes because there are a lot of snakes in there and behind the toilet as well. And the toilet behind the toilet is very bushy, and there are no lights around the toilet, and in the night it's very dark. So going there is very difficult for us to go there.
Compounding the issue is the school's ongoing water supply problem, which makes access to clean and functional toilet facilities even more difficult. An additional facility built years ago remains unused due to these water challenges.
So the reason why we don't use the new toilet is because of the water system. We don't have enough water to drink, and this is where we fetch our water from, this pond. And this water we use it to wash, we use it to soak our gari. And we don't have enough water to even bath. So at times when we come, we have to be in a queue. Then we allow one after the other to come and fetch the water. Sometimes you might not even get when the water is finished. So when you go to the toilet, you will not get water to use there to flush the toilet. So that's why we don't normally use that toilet.
Students also report that the poor sanitary conditions have exposed them to skin infection.
When it comes to sanitation, things are very, very bad. And the toilet behind me, it was built a long time ago, but just because of we are lacking water, so we are not able to use it. So we are still using the old toilet. The place smells bad and we are exposed to infections such as testis infections.
A report by our Volta regional correspondent Faisal Abdul. The Africa Education Watch has bemoaned a failure by leading political parties to promise proper review of the free SHS policy to include a targeting mechanism. The education group says although political parties have pledged to review the policy, none of them have spoken about the need to refine the program to target poor households. Senior Program Officer of EduWatch, Divine Pay, has been speaking to Starr News on the sidelines of a conference on education financing in Ghana.
We think it's very unfortunate because the review will look at who actually need the policy and who should we target to. That for us is what the review should have focused on. So I'm very unfortunate that we have not seen the commitment of the political parties. If you look at the manifesto to review to free resources, we have not seen that. Although they say review, up to now we don't know the specific they want to do, but our engagement with them actually showed that the review will not be in the direction to say we want to target, but actually that's the way to go. Free program for tertiary, I think that's specifically level 100 students, right? Okay, we have been doing quite a lot when it comes to financing at the tertiary education level. We realize that the student loan is not responsive to the financial needs. We realize that when you look at transition from senior high school to tertiary institutions, a chunk of more than half of the students that complete tertiary or secondary school do not transit to or are unable to honor their admission. They may have been offered admission, all right, but more than about 60% of them are unable to honor their admission just because of financial constraint. So if there is going to be an intervention at the entry point, it is actually the entry point that they need the support. If there is going to be an intervention to support their entry, I think it's in the right direction. But we will need better and further particulars on that, or how that is going to be implemented. I think that will have to be made upright.
So he has the Senior Programs Officer at EduWatch, Divine Pay. Let's do some health stories now, because management of Kolebu Teaching Hospital says the facility has initiated procurement processes to get a new elevator for the surgical block, whilst it works on the restoring of the two that has broken down. The new elevators, according to the management, will take about 6 months for the delivery and installation. The hospital currently has only 2 elevators at the main surgical block, which has been malfunctioning for about a week now, leading to the facility suspending non-emergency surgeries.
We have initiated the procurement process to procure a brand new lift for the department for the delivery of that. For the delivery and installation that may take about 6 months. But in the meantime, the remedial action that we're taking, we hope it will keep the work going on whilst we take our time to replace the lift. The process is already in place. It's something that we have been talking about, discussion, and the procurement process has been initiated for some time now. I can't give you the exact period that it's been initiated, but we are working to have it done. Okay. That is why we have able to project that within a span of 6 months, we will be able to take delivery of the new lift and then install it within that space of 6 months.
Now, female MPs from the governing NPP are threatening legal action against NDC parliamentary candidate for Ayawaso West Wuogon, John Dumelo. Mr. Dumelo, during a media engagement in the constituency, insinuated that the incumbent MP, Lydia Sairam Al-Hassan, had a hand in the death of the late MP and the father of her children, Emmanuel Tremantain Ejako. The actor has since apologized for his comment, but addressing the media, the Deputy Majority Leader, Patricia Epiejay, slammed John Dumelo over the development. According to the Asokwa MP, such attacks on women serve as a disincentive for public service. Take a listen to her.
Does his comment also mean same for the NDC MP for Shai Otsudoku, Honorable Linda Obinewa Akwele Oklu, who also became the MP when her husband sadly died. The Majority Women's Caucus in Parliament stands resolutely with Honorable Lydia Sarah Hassan in her pursuit of justice. We fully support her decision to seek legal redress and encourage her to take this matter to court of competent jurisdiction, where Mr. Domelo will be compelled to prove his baseless and malicious allegation. This legal action should serve as a powerful warning to anyone who attempts to slander or defame women for political gain. We urge all political actors and members of the public to conduct their discourse with respect, truthfulness, and decency, refraining from personal attacks that undermine our democratic process. The progress of our democracy depends on the ability of all participants to engage in meaningful debate on ideas and policies without descending into the gutter of unfounded and disrespectful allegations.
Now, Samia Nkrumah, a daughter of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, has dished her father's party. The leading member of the Convention People's Party announced her decision to contest as an independent parliamentary candidate for Jomoro, come the December 7 elections. According to her, contesting as an independent parliamentary candidate will offer her the opportunity to serve her constituents better. Take a listen to her.
I am running as an independent to re-enter Parliament, the Jomoro constituency. And independent means putting Ghana first, fighting the extreme partisanship that has not delivered to our people. So the independent card, I believe, is a new way of doing politics, where you are ready to work with others to make sure that good things happen for your people. I don't want us to be extremely partisan. I want us to build consensus. I'm looking for the way forward in the future. I don't think the future lies with being so entrenched in one party or another. So how can I do something when I'm aspiring for a better future for Ghana? Can we go beyond party politics? You know, Today as we speak, they are followers of Kwame Nkrumah in Ghana from every party, NDC, NPP, CPP, PPP, independent, everywhere. So the values and principles of what we call Nkrumahism has gone way beyond party. So why are we boxing ourselves in groups? Ghana needs to unite. And how can we unite without people sacrificing and going beyond the system? The two-party system has not worked, if we want to be honest.
So you had the Samia Nkrumah, daughter of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, on her reasons for leaving the Convention's People's Party. But it's time for sports now, and Nanama Jema is in the studio with sports news. Nanama.
In sports this afternoon, board member of Accra Heart of Folk, Dr. Nyahuta Maklu, has stated that the 500,000 Ghana cedi prize money for the Ghana Football Association, Ghana Premier League winners is insufficient given the high cost of running a football club. Speaking on Star Chat with Bolare, the esteemed football administrator noted that during his time as chairman of Accra Heart of Folk, he had to invest his own money into the club.
That's no money. There's no money. I can assure you that House of Folk presently, that means nothing at all to them. You see, football is a big project. And if you want it really to grow, you have to put in money.
Did you do that during your tenure as GFA?
Oh, during my tenure.
Yes.
No, I have been even chairman of Accra House of Folk.
Yes.
In my time, if you don't have money, you cannot handle a club. You cannot. Because you are the one who is going to see to their feeding, you pay for them.
The bankroller.
Yeah, you are the bankroller. That's the word. Occasionally, some of the elders in the party, in the club may assist. They do that. They did that in those days.
That is all for sports here. Back to you, Awisi Dede.
Right, thank you so much, Nanama, for giving us sports. Before we go, the Ghana Home Economics Teachers Association has been challenged to integrate